So what's your surname?
Brignell. Yes, I used to get called Pringle.
Pringle. Good morning. No, that's stuffed up already. Hi everybody, this is Daniel Pretorius, this is HWH TV, and you are watching Stories. We are here joined with Kacie Brignell, and we are going to have a bit of a chat about her story and her life. So welcome to the show, to the channel.
Thank you.
And yes, thanks for driving all the way to the beautiful Redland City.
Yeah, the Bayside.
Yeah, awesome. So what I want to do today is really just talk about yourself and your journey from when you were born. So
Yep.
what hospital you were born, what time, how much you weighed.
How long have you had?
Okay, we've got a couple of minutes. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just wanting to find out who you are. Who is Kacie, and where were you born, and what was your childhood like?
Cool. So I was actually born out at Ipswich Hospital. I used to go, oh God, I don't want to say that out loud, but that's where I was born.
Yeah, sorry, we're going to cut this. Sorry guys, Ipswich.
Yeah, and I basically grew up as an Air Force child. I've been to 9 different schools in 3 different states. So I always had to make new friends. I've been to public schools, private schools. High school was a private Catholic college as well, which was interesting. All girls school, which I found interesting.
I don't like all girls. I mean, I would have loved all girls school, but I would have been like in an all boys school would have sucked.
For me, it was interesting because I never naturally put myself in an all-female environment. So to have that for 5 years in high school, it was like, oh, okay. And I learned very quickly that I didn't want to be one of the catty girls. I didn't want to be a gossip queen. I was that girl at school who happened to know everybody's secrets, but I just couldn't be bothered with the drama to share it all. So it was an interesting 5 years.
You should have become a hairdresser.
Yeah, I should have. I could just listen to everyone go, yeah, no worries. But yeah, so so I started in Ipswich. Moved across to WA, moved to New South Wales. When we moved in the Air Force, we were always travelling in the car, so we stopped at the Great Australian Bight. I've seen the Nullarbor, the absolute nothing in the middle of Australia, and then came back basically to Ipswich and did high school out there. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you went to university, right?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you study?
So straight out of school, I didn't trust myself to take a year off and go back and study. So I went straight to TAFE and studied graphic design. Then within a very short time after I graduated and had a job and everything else, I thought, I've got to get out of here, got to go do something. So I actually started traveling overseas. Long story short, once I was overseas and I was traveling, I lived a lot in London. When my sister joined me, we visited like 13 cities in 4 weeks, I think, in Europe.
Yeah.
Came home. I happened to meet an English guy. I was home in Australia for 10 months. Went back over there to live. I'm like,
what those relationships do, right?
I went back over there to live. I was actually in England for 3 years, and because of my visa status, I couldn't work. And I'm not someone who can sit still.
Yeah.
I'm generally doing 2, 3, 5, 15 things at once. So I thought I'll study, and that's when I did uni. So I did my whole, I basically did a Bachelor of Event Management, and I did my whole studies overseas, distance ed, on a different time zone, trying to do group work with other people in Australia.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually I came home and I'm not with that guy anymore, I'm with someone else who I love. So
okay.
Just to make sure, in
Yeah,
case he's watching. So I did uni probably about 4 or 5 years after I finished school. So for me, it was really good to see that you can always go back and learn if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. trying to think of a question I had. I did have a question now. So in your travels, and then I want to go back to even when you were younger, but in your travels, what is something that you think has helped you today? Like something that you learned or experienced or struggled with during the time of travel that it's like, man, this really is good for me.
I think for me, going to London, I went all by myself. I didn't go with any friends or family or anything, so it was my first taste of like freedom outside the family home. And I think the biggest thing I learned at that time was I only had myself to rely on.
Yeah.
If things got tough, if I was running out of money, if I wanted to eat something or I didn't want, there was no one to cook me dinner, you know, I had to do it all for myself.
So the biggest thing you learned was to cook?
No, I really learned to cook. What I did learn, I learned how to be very savvy on a backpacker's budget, which I still do today. And everyone's like, you're a cheapskate. I'm like, yeah, but it works sometimes. So it's okay not to blow your cash on things you don't need. So for me, I think the biggest thing I learned was I can rely on myself, 100%. I've always got my own back, which I know sounds silly, but at the same time, I think sometimes you rely so much on other people that it's nice to know you've got yourself, if that makes sense. And I think the other thing too is it gave me the opportunity to interact with all these different types of people from all these different backgrounds. You know, in London, you're not just working with English people. You know, London, you're working with people from Quebec and New Zealand, which I know is just across the water, but you know, you're working with all these different nationalities. So I think for me, it also just gave me more of an open mind to be accepting of people are just people. They have their reasons for whatever reasons, their culture might be different, their upbringing might be different, and that's fine. Like I love that part of, I guess, having more of an open mind from meeting all these different nationalities and backgrounds and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's probably the two big things for me.
No, that's cool. So the question I got now is we're going to go back into your childhood and we're going to have a look. So we do another segment on HWH TV called Born to Make Money.
Okay.
And so what that is all about is when you were a kid, when did you first make money? When did you first hustle? And what did you do to generate money? I mean, you can anytime as a little kid.
I'm trying to think. Oh, well, it's not that exciting, but I used to massage my dad's feet.
Okay. Well, then you could open a massage too.
But I did. I used to massage my dad's feet because we get $2 per foot. So, and if we did a really good job, we got more. I mean, it was probably his way of having a little bit of child labour or something, and not going out there and spending money. But it was one way we could do it, and like my sister and I would fight over it. But it meant as kids, we had money when we went to Dreamworld or something like that as well. I'm trying to think of another time.
How old were you when you were doing that?
I was probably like 8 or 10, something like that. Younger to that, actually, I do remember a time. I probably would have been around 4 or 5. And I remember being with a friend. We thought we could sing. We were at a party that I think one of my mum's friends was having. So we were at a party at a friend's place, and I remember we actually put our little hat down and we just started singing.
So you were busking.
We were busking at someone's house party. So that's probably my earliest memory of going, here, pay me for something I'm doing. So
that's brilliant.
I just remember that one.
That's so good. You see, the thing is, right, the reason I asked that is because so many people today think that they aren't business owners or they don't have that mindset or something. But generally, almost every single person has generated or hustled money when they were a kid. So naturally, we all have that in us. And that's why I bring that up. Guys, you're watching HWH TV. This is Kacie, and it's all stories today. So we'll be back after this short break. To stand out and be confident, win a crowd, grab that sort of persona. You want to create that confidence, and confidence is an act. So let's learn how to act better. come and join us. We've got a full day workshop. You're gonna love it. It's very practical. Welcome back, guys. This is HWH TV. This is Kacie. I'm Daniel Pretorius, and you're watching Stories. So you were telling me in the break about your work, what you actually ended up doing. So tell us a little bit about that.
So what I'm doing now?
What you were doing before you were doing what you're doing now.
Sure, yeah.
So what I guess took you to where you are today, but that first journey.
Yeah. So
after college.
After college, I think my first ever job was actually packing shelves at Coles.
Okay.
So it was a Saturday shift between like 4 and 8 or something like that. It was actually no, it's not. Can I say it again?
Rewind. Cut. Continue.
It wasn't at all. So my first job was actually working at my uncle's legal firm. So whilst I was still at school, 2 hours, I'd walk up from school, I'd go straight to his legal office, and basically I was the person that I'd run around and deliver the mail, do grocery shopping if it needed to happen, do any bits and pieces, but basically 2 hours every day after school in my final year of high school was my first job. When it was in school holidays, then I got to do a little bit more, like take deeds to the other legal offices and things like that. So I learned a little bit, which was interesting. And then from there, I packed shelves at Coles. So that was a Saturday afternoon, and I left Coles. Well, I shouldn't say Coles. I left this supermarket because at the time I'd get a call 10 minutes before my shift if they didn't need me. But I literally would unpack all the end shelves where all the specials are, and then I'd repack it with next week's specials. Yeah. So it was a lot of physical labour. But it was interesting. It was even though there was like a team of us, it was kind of very lonely because everyone had their own area that you had to do. So you literally stack shelves for 4 hours at a time. Yeah,
you got lots of time to think, right?
You do, yeah. And I think from there I've had a huge background in hospitality. I've worked in cafes, venues, I've done a lot of wait staff work. Within that, then we've dealt with all types of events and things, from weddings to dinners and stuff. And I remember I was working at an RSL, and I remember setting up for a function, and this guy, had a conversation with this guy. I realised that he, was born in one place, has lived in one place, and will die in one place. And I went, I've got to go.
You've got to change.
That's the moment when I'm like, I've got to go and travel. I don't want to do this. I knew there was so much more, I just didn't know what the more was. Yeah. So, and then eventually went overseas, came back. I just took, some of my jobs was just to make sure I had enough money to do the next thing. And then I went into sales and business development, and I always struggled, no matter what job I've been in, I've always struggled to do it the way I'm being told to do it. Even at school, I realised if I look back, any issues that I had was because I was being told, you have to do it this way and that's it. And I'm like, there's got to be another way. Got to be something else. So I think for me then, doing everything that I did, I've always wanted to do my own thing or have my own business, but I didn't know what exactly. Yeah. And I think everything started to line up, push came to shove, whatever you want to call it. It just got to the point for me at work going, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being told there's this way and I can only do it this way. I'm actually going to go out on my own and do it my own way. Yeah. So, So
you were doing events. Was pretty much the last thing you were, role you had?
Yeah.
And then when you went out on your own, what did that look like, and what are you doing now?
So the good part, so now, and this goes back to what it looked like. Now I actually, I coach people on how to network in a way that they feel comfortable with and really build their business contacts. And the reason that is when I actually left, well, not the reason I should say, but when I left my corporate role, it was terrifying. My sister actually sent me a clip from Friends. It's called The Fear,
Yeah.
and it's all about when Rachel leaves the cafe to work for Bloomingdale's or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I know it's the fear, and it
Yeah.
is. It was scaring the bejesus out of me. It's like, to jump is huge, but you know, I talked to my partner and I said to him, this is what I want to do. And he goes, that's fine, go in, I'm all support, I'll be there for you. And I'm like, okay.
You're like, really?
Oh no. Yeah, and then the good part was that because I am someone I have built my network constantly, and I've always made sure people remember who I am. When I left and left the corporate world and I told people what I was doing, I had 2 jobs up front. Like I had 2 things I could go straight into, which I love. I mean, every day though, it's just over a year now that I started my own business, and every day it's a roller coaster.
Yeah, for sure.
Some days
yeah.
I want to be in a ball crying, and other days I'm like jumping for joy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just part of the journey. Just what makes it interesting, I think. So yeah.
No, that's great. So they call you the networking rock star.
Yes.
Now.
And it's not just because of the jacket.
okay. And the motorbike, right?
And the motorbike.
You've got a motorbike.
I do.
What motorbike do you have?
I have a Yamaha SR400.
Okay.
I do want to upgrade to my big boys or big girls license, whatever you want to call it. I just haven't done it yet. So.
And what bike would you get if you upgraded?
I don't know. Because I love the cafe style. Like
the bobby kind of.
Yeah, or I do like Harleys as well.
Okay.
I don't know if I have the strength for a Harley. I know you can get smaller ones, but I love the sound. So I love the more cruiser style, cafe style type of.
I know they do a course where they can take you and they'll teach you how to handle. They'll teach you how to handle a big motorbike, like massive 1,100cc bike, and they'll teach you how to handle that and it'll feel. I mean, it won't be light, but you'll know how to handle it correctly. So that's awesome. And when you do get your big bike, I'm all sort of on my baby license too.
Yeah.
But when we get our big bikes, we'll go for a cruise.
Yes. I want more power and more.
So other than your leather jacket and your motorbike and wanting more power, why do they call you the networking rockstar? How did you get dubbed with that name?
It's funny actually. I had a conversation with Elizabeth Campbell.
Yep.
She's all about blogging and words, and I sat there with her and I said, I want a name. Everyone has a name. I want a name too. I want not a label, but I want something. And it's funny because we're like, okay, we could go connection and we could go this. I'm like, no, I like networking. And I know to some people networking is a terrifying word, and to others they love it. And then the rock star part is like, well, I'm not a girly girl.
It's a fun part.
Yeah, and I've never been a girly girl. I'm someone who I love to build things. I've always loved to build things. I've renovated the house like on my own. I literally build things. I've changed car engines. Yes, I ride a motorbike. So I have, to me, quite, I guess, in some senses, masculine traits. So I'm like, I'm not a queen, I'm not a princess, I'm not a diva. And her and I just basically went back and forth with all these words. And she's like, what about rock star or something? I'm like, yes, I want that. So yes, we did dub ourselves.
Okay.
But I think for me too, then it helps give me an identity and everyone knows what I'm about.
Yes.
So to me, rock star isn't just, hey, it's cool. It's a networking rock star. So to me, it also says, I'm actually really good at networking, and I'm really good at also. So to me, like a rock star, a famous person, a singer, whoever, they are very, very good. They are elite in their field, but also they have all these fans that through their music and stuff, they're actually supporting, whether they realize it or not. So to me, rock star also means that, not, I hope I'm supporting, I actually love to support other people. I love to make sure I'm pulling others up and I'm pushing them outside their comfort zone or connecting them to people who they need and things like that. So to me, that's where it probably sounds a little bit airy-fairy, but
no, it's cool. Like I know that
to me, there's
there's
a deeper meaning.
Well, that's really right, because there's all these people who've got all these different nicknames and stuff.
Yeah.
But actually knowing the real, their own meaning behind it, because I'm like, oh yeah, word stylist and networking rock star, and it's like cool, there's names, but when you actually know the name on what you take from the name. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, networking rockstar, I can put those two words together. But for you, it's actually like 1,000 things.
It's so much. It's like an iceberg or something. There's the name, but there's actually so much more to it.
Yeah.
For me, that's more grounding, I guess.
Yeah, so I need one now. So
you
so
do.
if you're watching, next time you watch, I will have one. We'll work it out
I'll
afterwards.
have to come with some suggestions.
That's right. Cool. So how does our audience, how does anybody find you? How do they connect with you? How do they find you?
Would you believe it or not, I am the only Kacie Brignell in the world. I literally am. The way my name is spelt, I have actually Googled myself, but the way my name is spelt, I'm the only one. And I'm very open to connecting with anyone, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, or even Instagram.
Yep.
Facebook and LinkedIn is probably the easiest way. But yeah, just find me, ask to connect with me. My little tip with LinkedIn though is, try and send a welcome message whenever you connect with people, so they know it's not just spam. But yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn, very public. So.
So wrapping up with, we spoke about sort of what you're doing now, what you've been doing.
Yeah.
What is your business called, and what is the product or service that you offer? Because I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we might need to work on this then. So originally when I started my business in June last year, I started under the name Vision Events Australia.
Yeah.
I didn't want just Vision Events, I wanted to go Australia-wide, even.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that actual branding.
I'm going national. I know I'm not national yet, that's fine, but I'm going national.
Yeah.
And I think 2018 will actually take me national, so that's exciting. But yeah, so I'm still under Vision Events Australia because to me, you can have a business name, you can chop and change what you do and everything else, but it's still got to come down to you. So I think people still need to remember me, and I guess to me my brand is more Kacie, the networking rockstar, rather than Vision Events Australia. Vision Events Australia is kind of like my umbrella of the back end of everything, so everything's, T's across and I's are dotted and things like that. But yeah, so I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah. So Vision Events Australia.
Yeah.
Right, and your product is you go around and you sell t-shirts.
No, not quite. I might be going to that market too. No, so my product is my services. So my product is coaching entrepreneurs and business owners. I seem to be attracting a lot of younger people as well, but coaching them into how to network. And networking is so much more than just attending a live event. I want to stress that point. But teaching them how to network at live events and using strategies online like LinkedIn to really build the connections that they need to get ahead in their business.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. That's really good. Listen, we're going to wrap up, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And remember, this show is every week we're going to have someone who we are hearing their story, going back to their childhood and really finding out who they are. So you're watching HWH TV and this is Stories. Remember, see you guys again. Stay tuned. We'll be airing not just this show but other shows on this channel, so check them out. And till next time, catch you later.